a good matchup versus Diana, which I feel like both teams were setting up for. So might not see Diana this game with the Viego kind of hovering over her.
Yeah, I like the Golden Guardians takeaway of the Kalista. This is a pick that Tactical absolutely popped off on yesterday as IMT. And it just gives you so much lane pressure in certain lane matchups. And with the way that Core and Tactical play, which is like looking for kills in lane, I think it makes a lot of sense for GG to deny this on first rotation.
Followed up with my current favorite jungler in Diana. Just a wildly exciting champion to watch.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Golden Guardians' best look is when they are all in on team fighting. When Chime is on an Alistar or Nautilus, when we see the Kalista
raising his hand, teacher, Coach Gold.
I have an idea.
Excuse me, sir.
I wanted to play Diana.
Yeah, the Aphelios Thresh, nice. I like it. TL have talked about, and like Tactical on the desk talked about the other day, how you know, they have been trying to decide whether, especially with Alphari coming back in, transferring how much pressure he creates topside versus getting a really strong matchup bot side. I love Aphelios Thresh. I still think it's one of the strongest bot lanes right now. So I'm really excited to see Tactical play it, even though I know people were a little bit hesitant on putting so much pressure on bot side focus for TL.
Yeah, and I think GG, I actually like this draft so far, the takeaways are going for, because they realize, hey, we don't know if Viego's gonna be jungle or top or mid. So what we're gonna do is actually just take Nautilus, which is one of the highest priority supports right now, wait until the last pick phase, and then we can counter pick solo lanes.
So I like the Lucian ban here from Team Liquid. I do think that a few options they can go for is like a traditional mage in the mid lane, like an Azir or something like that, because it does have a considerable range advantage against the Kalista. Also kind of continues on with the theme that Aphelios provides here. So range, scaling, that's something that they can go for. Also, just yesterday, the prevalence of Mundo and Ornn, like tank top laners that go for Anathema's rush is
Fudge called it maybe a busted item.
Yeah,
yesterday
there we go.
when I spoke to him. So very curious to see how many more tanks start popping up in the top lane as opposed to some of the, you know, Akalis and the likes that we have seen in past. Obviously, she's on the ban table this time around.
Yeah, and it could work fantastically for the identity that Team Liquid has here. So the Trundle ban, great one, knowing that Licorice could play. It's a flex towards jungle as well. And also, if they want to have that option for tanks in the top lane in the 4-5, there it is.
You know what's funny too, though, is we spoke to Anero, and in justifying the Trundle pick to the top lane, he talked about how it was specifically a matchup that Licorice likes into Renekton.
Yes.
Now that Trundle's off the table, Licorice is like, all right, hand me that champion.
I got the Renekton for this,
Well, we know that's not getting picked. Nice try,
Be an
Tactical.
interesting one.
Nice try.
Okay, Mundo, so this is another pick that we've seen picked into the Renekton. It's less of a bully and lane pick, and it's more that Mundo is just a hyper-scaling tank who Renekton can't necessarily bully that as effectively. So it looks like the TL is just going for is, hey, we're just gonna play a straight-up late game. If we can get to that late game point where Mundo is sort of unkillable, we have an Aphelios who can hyper carry, and now it looks like we're picking Sejuani.
Talk about a front line.
Yeah, to look for just a big, beefy front line. I like that, particularly into like, you know, a slightly lower damage comp from GG.
Oh, and that's a lock-in here. So that's going to be Ziggs being picked up for mid lane. AblazeOlive going for the range advantage on that one. And, you know, Ziggs has always been a decent pick versus, like, Aphelios, who is low mobility, but the Thresh is always going to be there to help him out. Another call-out is, of course, that the Sejuani is going to be working with Viego pretty consistently, so I expect a 2v2 for Team Liquid to be the focus.
Now, Emily, what are your thoughts on closing it out with the Ziggs pick, though? Because while maybe it's effective against the Aphelios, I struggle to think about how it's going to be able to get through a front line like Mundo and Sejuani. Is it entirely up to Kalista now to deal with that?
Kind of, and I mean, like,
there's no way. No.
That's a lock-in!
Wait, what? Oh, my goodness.
That's locked in. I was going to say they could also have swapped Kalista top to go into the Mundo and then put Renekton.
They could still lane swap, right? Even if the picks aren't getting swapped, they could technically lane swap.
I am actually wondering if they'll send AblazeOlive top and put Licorice mid.
I expect it to be a punish into Viego. Remember the sustained disadvantage that he get from 100% to 50% on the minion wave, so he's actually much more vulnerable in lane. So I think this is going to be a lane punish Kalista versus the Viego.
Yeah, but I wonder, couldn't Ziggs just punish Viego similarly?
No, not as
I don't think so.
The mana pool versus just simply an AD carry that's probably going to be going Hail of Blades as well. It's going to be a much harder punish here.
This is, I mean, what a way to kick off the day,
and
right?
Arrow said yesterday, right? Like, he's like, you got to throw in something. When you're the underdogs, you got to throw in something to keep them off balance.
Well, yeah, you talk about a curveball. They've definitely thrown one. We're on to the Rift for game one, so let's hand it over to Flowers and Azael for the call.
Thank you very much, Dash. Welcome, everybody. It's time for some Sunday afternoon LCS. I am ready for it. I'm Captain Flowers. This is Azael. We spent the whole morning, Azael showing me some classic StarCraft clips from back in the day of Brood War, man. Now I'm just excited. I'm hyped. I want to see some big outplays, some big micro moments.
I'm ready for it, man. We're getting the Kalista mid here. And because I play flex queue with a lot of trolls, I have played with some solo lane Kalista in my time.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is actually really fun about this, even just less about the lane matchup, is post 6 linking with your jungler, right?
Yeah.
You actually are able to have some really powerful ganks because you are not linked just with your support, but you're actually linking with Diana then, very likely. You can throw this Diana in, and now your backline access is that much greater because you have that to throw you in, then the dash for the ultimate, or inversely, you throw yourself into the fight extremely aggressively and you use this as this kind of safety net once you've done the full combo to pull that Diana out. I am really excited to see how this is actually going to pan out for them.
Especially against an immobile carry like Aphelios, having that extra range, that extra engage, super strong. And also a quick reminder on your screen right now for all our Spanish-speaking friends, check out FlyQuest Spanish co-stream at twitch.tv/FlyQuest, LCS in vivo. You can check that out for an alternate spin on how things are going to be proceeding throughout the day. But right now, this is the laning experience. Jensen is showing the sad B. That's exactly what a solo lane against Kalista feels like as Chime starts to get a little frisky here in the bottom lane, getting some trades at level 1.
Absolutely, can be a bit awkward for sure. I will say that, with the kind of defensive start here for Jensen, he's going to go resolve secondary, he has second wind, he has a D shield. I actually don't think he's going to be punished that hard. Sure, you have to give up the push, but you should be able to collect most of this farm, because if Kalista is actually pushing all the way up to try to harass you at tower, the ability of Sejuani to get in there, and melee plus Sejuani is such a powerful ganking combo and really punish the Kalista, is very high. So we'll see how much of the farm is actually picked up. Jensen missing a lot of that farm, to be honest, under tower, but I do think this is a lane he's going to be able to withstand. I actually don't think it's that bad. In top lane, it's so different because it is this long, extended lane where the wave can get frozen on you, or you can potentially get chased down by Kalista. There's so much less space to actually work with in mid lane that often these range versus melee matchups are just nowhere near as punishing, just because of the nature of the length of the lane.
And down here in bottom side, you're going to see Team Liquid taking over this early push here for themselves. Nice bit of damage there with the satchel coming out to throw Tactical deep underneath the enemy turret. And a nice follow-up there with the dredge line. Tactical's locked down, but CoreJJ and Tactical find a little bit of a counterattack there, but 300 HP left on the Aphelios means Team Liquid will have to be mindful.
Yeah, it's kind of health versus mana in these types of lanes, is that, Ziggs does have some really strong trading, some really strong ability to push the lane, but early game, you don't have a lot of mana. They're trying to set up this dive, though, onto Alphari. Does he have the passive available for the stun? Because that will immune the Renekton stun.
He does not. They're able to set up the stun. Very nicely done there. And Licorice with the first blood. This man has been popping off since switching over to the Golden Guardian.
Absolutely. That is actually so big that they're able to get this kill. Oh, the TP's coming in. He's slow to react.
The TP's already ready to go. The flash into the stun, and AblazeOlive gets himself away. They're just setting him up to knock him down. Jensen sends him an extra freebie.
Licorice canceled the base. They didn't realize he was still there. So Jensen flashes in, and now they're going to redive.
Oh, and Alphari's about to die again, or is he? Iconic ends up getting the kill, and he gets away. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but Alphari's going to be losing even more now.
Oh, the buffer on the hook. Nicely done there by Chime. That is totally worth it. It is the 1-for-1. Now they're teaming bot. This is insane.
Holy, and for the first 4 minutes of the game, Golden Guardians coming in for even more punishment now in the bottom lane as Licorice has 100% kill participation. 4 kills, 4 minutes for the Golden Guardians.
It's Licorice Unchained, Flowers. He is popping off on Golden Guardians. His first weekend with the team. 2 solo kills on Sunday, solo kills Huni yesterday, today against Alphari, setting it up, knocking off the passive. They get the dive, he cancels the base, gets a kill, bases TP's bot, gets another kill. Who is this man?
FlyQuest Licorice has disconnected from the LCS. Cloud9 Licorice has reconnected to the LCS. Let's see it again.
And this is all set up by actually using the stun early, trading often. Mundo's passive in the early levels is a very long cooldown, so if you're only trading every once in a while, you will immune every stun, but because he actually got that passive on cooldown earlier, it was such a big deal. They see the TP coming back in, so Licorice just cancels the base, and Jensen flashes in. He's just flashing straight into the waiting arms of Licorice there. Such a great cancel, and yes, there is a kill here because the passive is available. The dive is very hard to pull off cleanly. Licorice probably knows he's going to die here. He's very low on health. Iconic, though, gets the kill. The wave is bouncing. There's no teleport, so the wave will push away from his opponent. Because of the nature of how the wave was set up, Licorice was also able to TP bot, get a kill there, get back to top lane, and barely lose anything.
By the way, Armao is the highest level in the game right now after all the madness that has occurred in the solo lanes. Sejuani is the only champion on Summoner's Rift that is level 6.
Everything's on fire, but he's like, guys, I'm level 6.
Yep.
We're scaling. Don't worry.
Sejuani ulti on
Late
the
game
table.
is ours.
Now Armao is coming top, looking to make
Whoa.
this play here. Alphari far out enough that Licorice will not see the enemy jungler just yet, but Iconic is right here. They can turn this around very easily. Licorice level 6, very, very scary stuff with that Dominus ready to go.
Jensen's here too,
Jensen now rotating up means it will not be a fair fight any longer. They already locked down the enemy jungler. Iconic to the bad spot, but Licorice is looking to get something back. He's already going to kill Jensen. He's looking to turn it around. Holy cow! Golden Guardians outplaying Team Liquid in a 2v3.
3-1-3 in 6 minutes. Licorice is a monster in the top lane, working so well with Iconic. All year long, we've been seeing him get tower dove on FlyQuest, be the one playing weak side, getting punished. He gets the Renekton, they're playing towards him. And with that monstrous lead, despite the fact it is level 6 on the Sejuani, they go in, but who cares? Licorice is just turning it around on them. Yes, Iconic is incredibly low, but look at this, the smite, the maximum range smite there. Healing back up from what, 20, 50 health? That is so frustrating for the Team Liquid side who have been losing out on all these fights. There's a 3,000 gold lead at 7.5 minutes.
Against Team Liquid, by the way. Against Alphari, back on the Rift, by the way. Incredible stuff here from the jungler and top laner of Golden Guardians very early on in the game. And now, this is just what Golden Guardian fans want to see. Licorice woke up and chose violence. Exactly. The man woke up and was starting punching people in the face before he even got out of the bed. I love it.
Oh, man. It is honestly good to see, you know, this guy who had been one of the best North American players in the league having a great weekend on a new team, right? You know, it always feels bad to see someone who seems like such a talented player really fall off or kind of vanish, and it had feeling like it was going that way on FlyQuest. So getting a new start with Golden Guardians, and sometimes that change in environment can really mix things up. When you're stuck in a rut, just moving to a new team can kind of give you a bit of a fresh perspective. And it feels like it's doing good things, you know, early on here for Golden Guardians.
Yep, now we just need to see that continue here for this team. Team Liquid, of course, struggling on the top half of the map. We know how capable their bottom lane is, but also, Aphelios is not a champion that's going to be doing amazing things early on usually. You like to let him scale, hit that point of 2 or 3 items. So for Tactical and CoreJJ, top half of the ship is on fire. It's time to make sure that things stay okay below deck. That's the win con.
Absolutely, and for Tactical, you are going to be the main target. Absolutely. There's this massive front line for TL that is going to be difficult to fight through because, yes, you want to dive onto this Aphelios, but you're going to have to go through Mundo, you're going to have to go through Sejuani, Viego, Thresh with exhaust, so that is going to be difficult. But Ziggs is one of those champions that can really enable that backline dive. You know, you throw the ultimate to the backline, you don't have to be there yourself. You have that long distance damage that can come through. And if they can throw in Diana and set that up, it can be huge.
Oh, what is going on here? Licorice again looking to make some plays. Armao running away, the Aftershock will fall. Licorice does not have enough HP to chase underneath the tier 2 turret. With a AblazeOlive right next to him, they will zone Team Liquid out of their own jungle.
This was the casual 1v2 between the towers in mid lane there.
No problem.
I'll just proxy that by myself.
Not a big deal when you are this far ahead of the curve of the game. AblazeOlive just continuing to make sure Jensen's laning phase is as miserable as possible, too.
And Diana already has the Mythic completed here. They do have to be a bit careful on the top side, though, because Mundo is getting some free farm, so he's getting back into it. But Licorice is trying to take his advantage, and instead of extending it through the lane, he's trying to move it around the map, right? Clearly with the TP to bot lane, the move towards mid lane, he's trying to snowball the other players. this is not a matchup that you really will dominate for a long amount of time. I do think Mundo is very good into the Renekton, the passive, eliminating a lot of the trading power by removing that stun. And once Mundo gets some armor, gets some health, it's really tough to actually continue bullying. So we'll see if he can keep up the pressure here and make things happen elsewhere.
Right, because when you look at the compositions, you look at champions like Renekton and like Kalista against two hyper tanks in Mundo and in Sejuani. Golden Guardians must scale this lead forward. They must continue trying to be proactive.
Sejuani coming top, though. They're going to try to punish Licorice here. Alphari was setting up the freeze.
Licorice wants to get away, but get away he shall not. Team Liquid will stop him in his tracks.
And that's a big one, getting that kill back on the top side, because Licorice was spending this time away from his lane. Alphari got a plate. Now he gets a kill. Alphari, a good job of setting that up, trying to hold the wave, trying to force that push out. Because Diana was bottom side, he did not have that protection. So going back to it, trying to punish Licorice here. Nicely done by Alphari as well as Armao. But they're still getting things on the other side of the map. They take the Dragon, the turret crash there with the Rift Herald. And they're looking to threaten a dive potentially, not committing to it fully just yet, though.
Yep, and there's the power. One of the things of Ziggs that just no other champion in the game does is the ability to execute those turrets, right?
Yes, sir.
People who played old school League of Legends back in Season 1 remember things like Heimerdinger Grenade being able to damage turrets and just how that was removed. Ziggs is one of the few champions left that has the ability to impact turrets outside of auto attacks, and the power of that satchel, especially combined with something like a Rift Herald, cannot be underestimated.
Yeah, it's really, really strong, and Stixxay has had his gold accelerated. The TP bot lane from Licorice got him that first kill. He took down the tower, so he's got a very early mythic here as well, plus a blasting one on top, so, has been moving around the map, doing a good job with that. We'll see if Golden Guardians can keep the snowball rolling. The scaling is incredibly good on the TL side, so you need to see this continued proactivity. It's not okay to just get a lead and then sit on it. You need to get a lead, invade into your opponent's jungle, take away camps, take away resources, and extend that advantage continuously.
Okay, Golden Guardians looking to continue doing just this now.
Jensen does have
with
TP,
a
though.
4-man dive against Alphari. That is Dr. Mundo. He is very, very tanky, but is he tanky enough? The answer is going to be no. Licorice looking for even more now, as Golden Guardians won't lose a single man thus far. Armao is now the target. Sejuani's supposed to be a tank, but at this point in the game, he's not tanky enough either. This front line is not the meatballs they need to be this far into the game, and Golden Guardians is doing a great job punishing that.
Yeah, they call him Bristle because that's a pin cushion with the Kalista mid lane. Slicing him up. 5 members from Golden Guardians there to the top lane. They TP'd the Ziggs up because they didn't want to leave Ziggs solo on the bot side, so they take another tower. Now it's going to be rinse and repeat towards the mid lane. We got to see the Kalista plus Diana combo as well, ulting and throwing him in.
Let's take another look at how it happened here, focusing on that Mundo.
Yeah, here it is, 5-man play towards the top side. Yes, Alphari is tanky, but not nearly tanky enough. And then there it is, AblazeOlive pulling in the Diana, iconic to follow it up with the ulti there. And Armao, the spears being stacked up and knocked down here. Such a good job as Iconic flashes out and avoids that Viego ultimate.
And I love seeing this from Golden Guardians, especially in light of the conversation that you and I and Emily were having in the caster room before the game, before the show started, about how it's fun to see teams force their opponents into these high-pressure, high-intensity situations where you have to respond to aggressive gameplay. That's not normally something you see from bottom teams in the LCS, and right now, Golden Guardians are saying, forget about it, just send it down, make them answer us, and I am loving this.
And I mean, they're doing a great job. This is not like, oh, everyone just ARAM and fight at the dragon. They're actually taxing Team Liquid's resources. They're coordinating well around these dives. They're setting them up well with teleports. They are curating the waves so they're crashing at the correct time. They're doing a lot of things right here in the early game, and they're utilizing so much of the early game power that they have and forcing TL to fight them before their scaling has kicked in, right? Because a lot of people are going to look at this and say, oh, well, you're never going to be able to get past the front line of TL. Aphelios is going to carry in the later stages. But Golden Guardians isn't giving you the time. They're making you fight now when their champions are strongest. And they're going to try to create this enormous lead so that once Aphelios is online, it's too little too late.
Exactly. Now, let's see what they can continue to do with this 4,000 gold lead here just 15 minutes into the game. They got the first Rift Herald very early. They're doing the same thing here with the second. Remember that second Rift Herald is very strong in terms of the charge, and you have Ziggs. Shelly gets the charge, you throw the satchel, goodbye.
Exactly. You knock it down low, you get the execute in from that Ziggs, so mid lane tower is pretty much a foregone conclusion. This tower is going to die. That is the last remaining outer here, and then Gold Lane Guardians can try to really exert their will on the map and take even more space away from TL. It's going to be a pretty powerful soul here too. We see it's Ocean second, so it will be Infernal or Mountain Soul available. I want to see them continue taking these objectives, pressuring TL on the map, utilize this Rift Herald, drop that mid, take the mid tower, grab this second dragon, and continue to really push this pace forward here. Well, if you're on the TL side, it's about slowing things down. It's about maintaining defensive vision, keeping control of your jungle camps, and trying to slowly whittle away at this gold lead through cross-map plays.
And that's one thing that we also have to keep in mind. The clock will favor Team Liquid pretty much constantly, right? We're seeing those first mythic items come online for everybody. Both of the tanks have their Sunfire type items completed. You've already got Gale Force done on Aphelios. Nice job there by Tactical, using that Gale Force to dodge out of the way of the dredge line. Second charge from the Herald will not complete, but the first turret in mid lane has been taken out, and that's really important, right? That thing is a bastion of defense to stop your opponents from being able to set down more aggressive wards in your jungle, and Golden Guardians still have control over the Rift.
And as they're highlighting there on the minimap, you can see that the TL has no intention to actually go for this dragon, right? So Golden Guardians is doing a smart thing. They're leaving only Iconic to solo it because TL is actually pushing up here on this top side. They're trying to do exactly what I said, looking for cross-map plays. The setup here was there for Golden Guardians. They have the vision line all the way up into their opponent's jungle. They have control of this dragon. They have more power right now. So TL is trying to go elsewhere, get gold in their pockets, close that gold lead by taking towers, taking away camps, and even trying to create these pockets of vision to do it. You know, this is actually a pretty well set up play. You can see these three kind of wards along this line trying to give some semblance of coverage for Jensen on this push. That's why CoreJJ was up towards the top side. And TL very clearly playing towards that win condition of slowing things down, of playing cross-map, and it's up to Golden Guardians to force their hand.
Okay, Golden Guardians having their jungler get caught out, though, but immediately pulled to safety. The power of Kalista. Iconic going to be thrown backwards towards Alphari, who's coming in on the flank, but Team Liquid's initial play has already failed. Iconic's going back in for the three-man ulti. Armao's your target. Stixxay's over the wall, looking for the ulti here to finish off the kills. Licorice is ready to go, and the Golden Guardians are rampaging through TL lines. Tactical is very far forward. CoreJJ cuts his losses. There will be no lantern to save you today. He might have 200 years worth of chakrams. They just wait for those to fall off. But no! Core is still there, and the lantern gets Tactical out.
2 for 0 though for Golden Guardians, slashed and dashed and cut TL to pieces there, Flowers, extending the advantage on the TL play. They felt they had found a pick onto this Diana. They want that bounty off of him. But AblazeOlive in position there with the Kalista ulti, pulls his jungler to safety, and they're able to turn around the fight with some quick responses from their team. And this is, you know, one of these powerful things, is that you have that ultimate latched up to a more important player than just your support as you get to the later stages of the game. Diana is so valuable here, and Iconic biding his time, repositioning with the Rocket Belt to give him the range to dash in, multi-man ultimate there. Armao sidesteps back to avoid the ultimate coming through from Stixxay, but he was always going to go down to those autos, and TL doing a good job about actually navigating this. The sidestep from Tactical, trying to bide his time until Lantern cooldown comes back up, then Gale forcing in position to grab that. Great job by him.
Honestly, an amazing escape. I thought he was dead to rights. Speaking of which, Licorice will try to fight here in the 1v2 long enough for his jungler to show up. He's getting a lot of life steal. Iconic jumps into the fight now, but it is too late, or is it? From downtown, Ziggs is throwing in the backup. The barrage arrives, and a double kill for the Diana comes through as he flashes away to get out.
Yeah, and he gets CoreJJ's flash there. Jensen's flash as well.
Hey, Brian Kibler is becoming a fan of the Golden Guardians right about now, and you know what, Kibler? So am I. Look at the record of this team, Isaac. 9-26. That is barely higher than a 25% win rate, but I would not believe that if you hit the nameplates, hit the records. Golden Guardians is playing this game awesome so far.
They are playing great. They have been improving in summer. They already got a big win this weekend with Licorice, and they're looking to grab another here. They beat 100 Thieves. They challenged TSM, and they're looking to, in a weekend that should have been an 0-3. You know, but most people, if you're looking...
By most expectations,
expectations, you're expecting them to get slammed by all three of these teams. They've taken down what was the top team in the league, 100 Thieves. Now they're looking here at TL, massively ahead at this point. It's a 6,000 gold lead. They're about to grab their third dragon, we are expecting here in about a minute and a half, and then they will be looking towards that Mountain Soul, which is going to make snowballing the game that much easier. When you are playing a relatively low damage comp, frontline heavy, the Mountain Soul is difficult to deal with, to be able to actually punch through there and have that critical amount of damage coming out of Tactical where he can kind of just knock down the team by himself. It's just so tough.
And goodbye. Ziggs, man, it's so effective too. I love the fact that they have this pick with this composition that needs to snowball early and keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to stop that momentum against Ziggs.
It's really, really cool because you have the Kalista in mid lane, which is kind of giving them prio there. They play aggressively around Renekton top lane. That gets them prio there. This gives them access to the Rift Herald, so they take that, they combine this Rift Herald power with the execute power that Ziggs has, and they move around the map, taking down these turrets. Relentless pressure here from them has created an enormous advantage at this point in the game. This is just such an impressive sight to watch. Collector second here for Tactical. Pretty atypical, but it is a very squishy team. So he's really looking to have a high amount of burst here with Gale Force plus Collector to get that potential insta-kill on one of these squishy targets. Hope that that can really swing things in a team fight and give them a fighting chance.
Yeah, and Jensen's build too, I do want to point out, because he went for Blade of the Ruined King first, going for the Divine Sunderer second as the Mythic, this is very powerful against health stacking opponents, specifically like what you see on Licorice with the Renekton. However, if Jensen goes in at just even slightly the wrong moment, he's dead instantly.
Absolutely.
This build does not have much defensive capability at all, and now Golden Guardians are on sole point, so Team Liquid must fight 5 minutes from now.
And these are the tough decisions you have to make when you're behind. You don't get to have everything, right? You don't get to pick and choose and say, yeah, actually, I want to be the best in the sideline and in the team fight. You don't get that luxury, so you have to kind of choose where are you going to focus. And I think the build makes sense for Jensen if you're looking at it through the perspective of, okay, our best chance is actually defending Tactical. And by going a high damage build, I'm going to make it more difficult for them to fight past me towards Tactical. I can punish them if they're trying to ignore me in these fights, which largely we're expecting Golden Guardians to do, but because of this huge gold advantage, because of the nature of this squishy build, like you're saying, they could just turn on Jensen, stun him up, and burst him down potentially before he could get anything done.
All right, Team Liquid, 6,500 gold behind. Opponents on sole point. Turret count is 2 to 4 for them. There's so much that they have to make up for in this game.
And the Anathema's Chains here from Chime, I think, is great. It really is all about Tactical. So you slap that on him, reduce the tenacity, reduce his damage to you. AblazeOlive pretty separated.
AblazeOlive using the cleanse to stay safe, though. Tactical still has the depth charge chasing after him. He's pulled over by the Lantern. Licorice now in the front lines, looking to cause some chaos as Alphari's into the back lines of the Golden Guardians. Jensen's going to be taken very low with CoreJJ dying first. Tactical's being focused down. He won't be able to fight it out. Team Liquid loses 2, and the Golden Guardians don't drop a single man.
They're going to go to Baron. They got the Kalista. They have the ability to take this down quick. Alphari's still healthy. Armao is out on the map. Licorice is hunting, but he's separated from the team. They got to give him some backup here, because if they get this free kill, all of a sudden they can contest.
Flash over the wall keeps him safe. Baron is still being
getting
focused.
dicey, though.
The aggro's still there. Half HP left. Armao is ready to steal. This would be a hero moment for the Team Liquid jungler. Alphari trying to throw in some cleavers, go for some poke. Armao goes over the wall. They're going to be focusing him down, and there is no steal. There's no 50-50. There is only the Golden Guardian.
Forget the 50-50. It's about the 100-0. Kill the Sejuani. Take the objective. 10,000 gold lead. Magi Soul Stealer even coming in here for Iconic. He is flexing on him today. AblazeOlive separated from the team, but he has the cleanse and the TP flank comes in. Sure, you've got the Lantern for tactical, but it's right into that Ziggs ulti. It's right into the TP flank coming through here from Licorice. AblazeOlive piling in, Iconic diving in there with the use of that Kalista plus Diana combo. This has been a master stroke here from Golden Guardians. This mid lane Kalista working out incredibly well because once Diana got fed, not only do you have the Zhonya's to keep you safe, you have this Kalista ultimate as that safety blanket, as this extra form of engage. It's allowing him to really get the maximum value out of the lead he's created.
Dude, I don't know what the Golden Guardians are eating for breakfast this morning. Give me a plate of it. Give me a bowl. Give me a bucket of it. I don't care. This is an incredible showing from this team.
Bakeros.
And they are not stopping anytime soon. 2 minutes to work with this Baron buff. They only have one tier 2 turret, still standing on their opponent's side. That isn't the top lane, so they're pressuring the other two, lining up these waves to siege inhibitor turret.
Man, they just have so much gold. I mean, the death cap just got completed for Stixxay. They're all getting to their third items here. TL is just scrambling to cobble together as much as they can. But Ziggs just kills these towers almost instantly, so if you get access to them, they are just gone. Armao trying to pressure back Licorice here, but Golden Guardians are moving over, so they can't extend too far, and it's going to be really difficult for TL to hold on, because one passive auto plus a W is pretty much just death on the tower if Stixxay ever feels safe to actually walk up.
Alphari at half HP, pops the ulti. That's a pretty big team fight tool down. The satchel is primed underneath the enemy turret, blows it up. Golden Guardians now have the ability to siege the inhib on open ground. Team Liquid trying to protect mid lane turret now. Remember that without that ulti, Alphari is going to be significantly squishier here in this fight.
Yes, sir.
Bottom lane inhib falls. Team Liquid not willing to fight for that one. And Golden Guardians back away. Nicely done.
Not to mention, I mean, the fact that Licorice already has his upgraded healing cut. He's got that Chempunk Chainsword, so 60% grievous wounds. When you start to get low, you've got to use the Mundo ultimate very early, and it becomes extremely ineffective if you do get to that 60% debuff mark. Iconic getting rooted up there. Jensen trying to threaten from the side.
Okay, Chime's the one who gets hit by the ulti, but now the Golden Guardians are ready to fight. Iconic goes in, he's popping the stasis. Chime doing the same. The damage comes out, and CoreJJ is already going down. Armao is going to be target number 2, and the boy is already gone. Same thing for the inhib. The Dragon Soul is on the map, but who cares? Golden Guardians, they're ready to push on some Nexus turrets, but unfortunately their minion wave is not. Waiting for the cavalry to arrive there. They're ready to go. No Baron buff left, so the minions can be cleared out by Tactical, who has the right gun for the job. Blue gun will get rid of all of that. Golden Guardians fall back now, walking over towards that Drake pit. Armao and CoreJJ still dead for a while here.
Yeah, they realize they're not going to be able to close it out easily. So with Armao dead, you just want to secure the soul, continue creating that advantage. I think it's the smart call here. Why risk the game from that position? As you said, lots of wave gear available there for Tactical. They will grab soul. They'll reset, and they've got a lot of gold to actually spend at this point. You know, a good 8 to 10,000 gold is in their bags when they base
on
here.
Renekton alone.
Yeah.
Like, this is incredible stuff here for this squad, and with this soul in their pocket, 2 minutes for Baron. This is an easy opportunity for them to go back, get some control wards, get some setup ready to go, get yourself a second Baron, and win the game.
Absolutely. You pick up stopwatches, you use the elixir, you just get the maximum possible power out of your gold advantage right now. I mean, look at the shielding on Iconic when he popped his W. It's about 1,000 in shields there to actually knock through, not to mention the flat resistances on top, which is just going to make it even more difficulty. Tactical went for this kind of lethality item here of the Collector. The lethality becomes pretty useless when you get that extra flat armor on top from this double Mountain Dragon, and they are just really in such an incredible spot at this point in the game. Golden Guardians just have to make sure that they're checking all the boxes, cutting off all the vision that TL has.
No silly mistakes.
Exactly. Make no doubt about it, because they have been in great spots. I mean, this one seems pretty insurmountable, but they have lost from winning positions before, and they want to make sure that there's no mistakes made. I mean, you've got 2 inhibitors knocked down. They're pressuring the top side, looking for that third inhib, and also can look towards the Baron when it spawns in a minute if they can't close the game before that.
All right, Tactical just shifted off from the Severum, the red gun there. Kobe always says red, white, don't fight, so that's why you saw Licorice backing away right there. But now that he no longer has that, They recognize that Aphelios doesn't have the ability to go crazy in that short-range type of fight here. Golden Guardians continuing their push now towards the last remaining inhibitor turret. Armao has already lost 2/3 HP. Team Liquid will not be able to fight to defend this. Chakrams or not, they don't have the ability to team fight without that front line. All 3 inhibitors gone, double super minions, every lane. Inhibs not respawning for another minute and a half. Baron is up in 20 seconds. Golden Guardians can hang around here, continue to apply the pressure, or fall back for Baron, whatever they so choose.
Yeah, with all these next waves of supers coming in, it's going to get very difficult. You can see Golden Guardians getting access to the Nexus turret on the top side. If Stixxay gets there, this tower is just going to die. Look at that.
Already gone.
One passive auto is 60% health.
Already gone. Licorice taking a little bit of damage here now. Alphari in the ulti once again. Armao with a good ult coming out. Licorice going to lose some HP, but it's the Golden Guardians going in now. Tactical's already dead, and the game is over. Team Liquid will evaporate in front of our eyes as Jensen and CoreJJ, they'll do whatever they can. They're just hanging out on the steps, watching it all fall apart. Golden Guardians take down TL.
Golden Guardians is on the hunt, Flowers. They came to play this weekend, taking down 100 Thieves, taking down Team Liquid. What a debut for Licorice on his new team. They are looking so damn good. Creative draft coming out here, moving the Kalista to the mid lane, pairing it up with the Diana. But it was all about the in-game play, the ability that they had to snowball these lanes, to get an advantage on the top side, utilize early trades to get out the Mundo passive, dive him up, then the TP can go down towards bot side, you get a kill there, put Ziggs in a winning position, goes mid lane, trying to pressure Jensen. They're moving around the map as a squad, and really just choking TL out so effectively, knocking down towers around the map, taking every Rift Herald, taking every Dragon. They destroyed Team Liquid in this game. This was not close.
All I'm saying is, LPL, you better be ready, because you're gonna have to fight Golden Guardians at Worlds at this rate.
Golden Guardians at FlyQuest Academy. Let's
Golden
go.
Guardians are popping off, baby, and I love to see it. We're taking a quick break now, but on the other side, we'll hear from Licorice himself in the Verizon post-game interview. Don't y'all go anywhere.